Hi everyone, it's Diane K. Brennan here at the Druidess' Den. And today we are covering the sevens in Cartomancy. Now, this series, just so you know, is going to go beyond just doing meanings of the cards, okay? Eventually, once we're done with the entire deck, I plan on going on to doing readings, starting small with your basic 3-card readings, and then expanding to larger readings like the 9-card tableau or the Council of 13. Council of 13 is going to be more Tarot de Marseille. I can do the 9-card tableau with either the Marseille cards or the playing cards. And I've always referenced that I learned my Marseille off of Camellia Elias. But what I haven't said is I actually did study playing cards, mostly through books. And the main book that a lot of these meanings have come from is Speed Learning Cartomancy by Julian Moore. I actually really recommend this book. It was really good. And a few other books, but that was my main reference. So there are some really good books out there for playing cards. And since I already knew the Tarot de Marseille, playing cards was actually really easy after that to pick up. So if you've ever been afraid of reading with these two systems, it's actually the easiest system there is because it's pretty straightforward. There's not a whole bunch of esoteric meanings to learn on top of everything. It's really basic. And because you're reading them together against a question and each other, you're following the flow and the energy of them. So it's really super easy. So if you've wanted to learn it, but you've been afraid to, this is the place to be. Because I was there. And that's why I'm doing this. So the sevens, to get on track with today, have 3 main categories of meaning across all the suits. You have trouble due to a blocked path because you had that clear path at the 6 and now you've got something in its way blocking it. This can also represent potential or something new emerging up the path, okay? And then it can be spirituality, religion, or isolation like a hermit or a monk. Especially when we get to one particular suit. So, give me one second. Okay. So with the diamonds, we have financial trouble, declining profits. Your money is leaking out here, right? It's unraveling. It's really especially visible right in the Tarot de Marseille 7 of coins. But you can see it here too, with the fact that like these 3 are breaking away from the base down here at the 4. You can't make ends meet. You're struggling, right? It can be lies and deceit because this is communication. So this can be messages that are misleading or deceitful or just outright lies. So if you get this, be careful of the message you're getting. Maybe things aren't all as they appear. So it might look bad, but maybe it's not really. Again, look at the question and look at the cards around it, right? It can be nerves because this is traditionally the electrical suit. So your nerves are your body's electrical system. So this can be nerves, anxiety, negative thoughts, creating that. But it can also be, you're going to love this one if you read cards or do astrology. This is fortune telling, psychic powers, astrology because of the 7 visible planets. Original astrology was only those 7. Anything mystic, like because of the 7 chakras, 7 bodies of energy, if you're dealing with energy healing. So visions, prophecies fall into here. It's also earning extra money. So you have a little extra coin coming in. Maybe you have enough now because you've earned extra that you can have your bases covered and invest a little bit of coin as well as spending some and letting it go out there to the world so that you can generate more. Law of attraction, right? Okay, with hearts and cups, you can have trouble in your relationship. You can have emotional issues like hate, fear, just jealousy, anything negative in the emotional realm coming in. You can have an ending of troubles. Maybe there was a separation and now something has been bridged and negotiated. You have this new emotional energy coming in that heals that. It's religious or spiritual devotion. So this is where we talked about that isolation of a monk or a hermit. So this can be somebody who has really devoted themselves to their spiritual path and possibly isolated themselves away to do so, whether it's temporary, like going on some kind of spiritual retreat, or permanent, going into a hermitage kind of situation. It can also be somebody who is faithless or an inconstant friend. Might be somebody who's actually an enemy that you think is a friend. So as they say today, what, a friendemy? Friendemy? Okay, however you say that one. If it's paired with a 5 or a 9 of spades, traditionally, or swords, it would be a sign that the relationship will end in violence. So this could mean severe trouble when paired with the 5 or the 9 of spades or swords. And so you need to get help. And if it's paired with the ace of clubs, it can mean self-loathing. So you're hating yourself. With the clubs, because we have the worker bee here, so this can be problems or trouble at work, practical problems, trouble meeting your goals, things are getting in the way, they're blocking you. It can be doubts or worries about work or your practical matters or goals. It can be fate, chance, or coincidences. So this can indicate also a breakthrough, a serendipity that comes in and breaks, say, a stalemate in getting your goals or, work accomplished. And it's also magic, spells, charms, etc. Practical magic. This is your like folk magic kind of thing, or your manifestation magic. All right. And then when we get to the spades or swords, we have double trouble. This is like super trouble, especially if it's paired with any of the other 7s. And it's going to be super trouble in whatever arena that is, right? But it can also be things that are hidden, mysteries, investigations, consultations, finding things, diagnoses, because this is earth, so this is the body. All right? It can be curses, hexes, black magic. And tears, blood, war, hurting others in any way. And again, this is lying and deceit. So if you have one of these two paired with one of these two, you have definitely gotten some kind of deceitful message or been told a pack of lies. Now, one thing I want to show you, as I said, this is eventually leading to readings, is yesterday's daily draw. In case you don't follow me on Instagram, but even if you do, you saw my morning interpretation, but I'm going to give you my interpretation by the end of the day of these cards, at least, because I had the 7 of Swords come in. So it's very appropriate that that was yesterday, and I'll share it today. So I had the Two of Swords with the Queen of Coins and the Seven of Swords. And then at the bottom card, from the bottom of the pack, was the King of Cups. Now, first off, I still say yes. Yesterday, I was very aware that it was the 3-year anniversary of my father's death. And let's put that in perspective. 3 years since his death, yesterday, actually last night at 8 o'clock at night, and I'm the one who gave him his medication all day long to be able to release and let go. And tomorrow I'll be 63. So that was right before my 60th birthday, which is a milestone. And it was hard. So I really thought this was kind of talking about me focusing on that. But I'll be honest, yesterday, while I was aware of it, I wasn't that focused on it. But what did happen, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was telling her about a statue that I had that had gotten broken in the move. And because it was like this super deal that I'd gotten on this statue, and I hadn't, after it broke in the move here, I hadn't been able to find any pictures of it online. So she and I went hunting together on the phone. Okay. I was describing it to her. She and I were both hunting. I did find images. I was looking for the wrong company. I thought it was a Royal Dalton. It was a Royal Hager. Anyway, for me, well, when I got the statue, I was manifesting relationships. It was part of my feng shui to bring in relationships. And then it kind of symbolized God, because it's a circular representation of a man and woman whose feet are like this, and then they curve away from each other and their hands join. And I was like, that's like God. That's the yin and yang of God as one in unity. So when it got broken, I did not glue it back together. First off, it was black ceramic, and black shiny ceramic is not easy to glue back together and make look like it never broke. Okay. So we found it. We found 2 of them available on Etsy at a price that I can actually afford. I was like, okay, I can still get this. But then, the more I looked at it, now notice she's facing the past and this 2 where it got broken, right? Into 4 pieces actually, but the 2, it's a separation, divorce. I would also call something getting broken being part of that. And that marriage got divorced that I manifested that in with, right? Or it's part of the manifestation of that. The feng shui that brought that relationship in, and other manifestation work I did. So the 7 of Swords, I actually decided, you know what? It's in the past. I don't need it anymore. It broke because it was no longer mine. I didn't need it anymore. It's a pretty good sized statue. And I'm trying to downsize things. And so I decided to let that go and let it stay gone from me, shall we say. All right. Let it stay broken into its 4 pieces, and I don't need to replace it. And I saw that definitely as part of the 7, the releasing of it, letting something go out that path rather than trying to keep it contained, letting this sword work its way up out of my life. Because I'm not trying to manifest a relationship at this point. I mean, if one comes in, great, but I'm not actively working to manifest one like I was then. And so I saw this King of Cups as being the fact that I'm extremely comfortable now emotionally with my relationship with myself. It's kind of emotional mastery, like I have healed, because the King of Cups to me is a healer. And I've healed to the point that I'm very, very comfortable alone and single. And I don't feel the need to do this. That was in the past. And it was important to me then, hence the Queen. She's really looking at this. It's something very important. But now it's not. Turn my back on it. Don't need it anymore. So that is one way that those cards can play out in a reading. I hope you have enjoyed this. Stay tuned. This is just going to keep getting better and better. And from here on out, when I have something like this that relates to the cards, then I will be doing this as well, unpacking the daily draw that related to it and how I see it in retrospect at the end of the day. So, as well as, like I said, when we get through the end of the decks, because I will continue after I've run out of the minors, I will continue on with the majors of just the tarot, but I'll be grouping those. So it's not going to be an entire 22 separate videos. I'm going to group them into sevens and just do 3 videos on those. All right. And, well, 1/8, obviously, because there's 22. And then I'll be going into doing the reading examples. So, see you in the next one. Much love, much light, many, many blessings, and peace out.